Hi, we're Richard and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust.
We've spied a couple of days of dry weather, which has been quite unusual in the Yorkshire Dales this holiday, so we've come away for a couple of days. Unusually for us, we've actually stayed in the UK for the summer. Normally we'd be away somewhere in the French Alps, and we've had an amazing time, but the weather has been atrocious. We've spotted a 3 or 4 day really nice weather window, so we're going to get away up into the Dales to one of our favourite places, Bolton Abbey. It has been quite some time since we've actually packed up the van to get away. We are planning on a 15-kilometre hike today, so we need to make sure we've got lots of food to keep us going.
It's amazing how quickly you get out of the habit of packing up, and even though we're only going away for 24 hours, there's that sort of like angst that will we remember everything? But in reality, how bad can it possibly be? We're so excited about just simply getting away, and we are heading to one of our favourite local campsites, which is the Catgill Farm camping site near Bolton Abbey. And the prospect of sitting out tonight and having a campfire is just really good after what has been a pretty dreadful summer. Like a true Yorkshireman, we're trying to do our little mini micro adventure on the cheap, so we haven't spent any extra money from our normal shopping, and we're just taking all our food with us, so hopefully once we're on the campsite we don't have anything to spend. Jackie's so excited, sun's out, so it has to be fairy lights and bunting. Hey, we're on our way!
And it's still sunny.
It feels like we have not been away for ages in the van.
I am so looking forward to having a nice campfire tonight at Schmall's.
Look at the sun! Standard Morrison's stop off. We have been really good, and we are going to get some non-alcoholic beer, we are going to get some s'mores, and then we're definitely on our way.
What's happened to the weather? It was supposed to be really sunny.
It's not like us Brits to moan about the weather, but we set off and it had a 5% chance of rain, and now half an hour later 40% chance of rain. They'll teach us to go and get some beers.
That's okay, I've got my waterproofs, and I'm just looking forward to getting round a nice cosy fire later.
And we're just adamant that this walk is going ahead, so you're coming with us whatever happens, and we're prepped for all eventualities. Catch you in a bit.
Bye.
So our plan for today is we are going up the Valley of Desolation, which is rather a grand term for something that we're not sure is there, but we do know that there is a really good waterfall.
And then we're heading up to a place called Simon's Seat, which is not a high peak, but it is in the middle of all the purple heathers, and it is absolutely beautiful. This is my favourite time of year in the Dales. So we're nearly 10 kilometres into the walk and the bugs have just come out as soon as we've stopped.
One of the reasons why we absolutely love Barden Moor is that it's so different to where we live. The heather is only out for a few weeks of the year.
Yeah, the bugs are biting, so I'm going to get moving.
Well, we've made it to the top. We're about 20 metres from the trig point, but we're not brave enough to actually stop and film. So this is all new to us, but stop and you just get eaten alive. But yeah, it's everything we wanted, probably, and more, with a few more bugs.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful up here. Still worth it.
So we're nearly down. We're nearly 12k in, so I think we're going to sack off the last bit and just get back to the van and then get to the campsite.
We've got some nice non-alcoholic beers to look forward to.
Oh, joy upon joy. That was quite an adventure. I've got clocked just under 16 kilometres and to be honest I'm absolutely cooked.
Yeah, the sun's actually come out as well now, so that should be okay for a nice barbecue tonight at the campsite.
Yeah, definitely a day of two halves and just further evidence that you just got to get out and do it. So we're going off to Catgill now.
Yep.
Put our feet up, get us settled in the campsite and yeah, relax. Morning.
Well, we had a really nice night last night in the end. The sun actually came out and a really nice sunset.
Yeah, so we are heading off down to Bolton Abbey to take you on a little bit of a tour of there. It's only about a 10-minute walk we're leaving the van up here because parking down there is a bit of a nightmare, and then hopefully we're going to head up to the Strid, which is a bit of a local phenomenon around here.
I've even packed my swimming cosy because you can swim and paddle down at Bolton Abbey, but only if the sun comes out for me. We've been to Bolton Abbey loads of times, and each time we come it's really different. We've had a really good explore down by the Abbey and by the pavilion. It's really busy today, which is lovely to see. There's so many families out enjoying themselves.
Closest to the campsite is the Abbey, and it's just so rich in history. We bumped into some American visitors that were just loving it, but you know, we're 20 minutes away and it's just as beautiful. It is stunning.
So we're at the Strid now. We've walked 5 kilometres from the campsite, so it's a good day's walk if you do it from the campsite. And the Strid is a series of waterfalls. It's quite low today compared to when we've been before.
Yeah, and it's a little bit quieter because it's a little bit off the beaten path, but it is a fair trek from the campsite, so don't underestimate it. One of the biggest advantages of staying at Catgill is that it's walkable down to the Abbey and you don't have to pay for parking, because parking is really expensive. So if you were coming for the day, you'd have to really make a day of it. But it's so lovely to just be by the river and have picnics and all of that.
It was really cute going past by the Bolton Abbey bit, because there's little beaches and there's loads of kids swimming in the water and paddling. They were trying to go across the stepping stones, some of which have disappeared, so it wasn't an easy feat. We've been coming to Catgill Farm for years. We first found it in the Cool Camping Guide and it's never disappointed. We've been at least a dozen times.
It's a really polished campsite, but it remains family friendly at the same time. It's got all the traits of a traditional campsite. So there's no pictures, you just pull up where you want.
Which I like. I like the fact that you can have fire pits, which not many campsites let you. And this year's been a real surprise, actually. We haven't been for 2 years and they've had completely new facilities. There's a new toilet block, they've got a new reception area, they've got a little shop here now, which they never used to have, and it's about 3 miles to the nearest village down very, very tight country lane, so that's a bonus.
They've really thought of everything. They've always had a little coffee shop that opens in the morning where you can get your fresh croissants and coffee, but they've extended that out to a pizza service on an evening, and quite a lot of people were actually getting food delivered in from the local town, which was quite interesting. So there's the big things like that, all the way down to the little sort of dog wash facility and boot wash facility that they have. So they've really got everything covered.
With it being a family orientated campsite, it's quite quiet after about 10:30 at night. There are lots of really big groups that come, but it's nice to see big families together just having fun.
One of the slight negatives of having a choice of pitch or there being no pitches is it's quite an uneven site. So if you're not careful, particularly in a camper van, you can be sleeping head down or on an angle. That doesn't really bother us too much, but it can be a consideration when you are coming.
They've actually modernised since we first came. They've actually got electric hookup now, which they didn't have the first few years. For those of you that don't have any camper vans and you don't fancy camping, they've actually got a few luxury pods and glamping tents. They look amazing and they're all set up in the hillside, and each one has got its own little jacuzzi in it. They look fab.
And then in sharp contrast to the hot tubs, there is a stream at the bottom of the campsite that the kids absolutely love and just spend their days adventuring and playing in the stream.
It is definitely a campsite worth visiting, particularly if you're with a family and particularly if you like going for long walks around Bolton Abbey estate. There's lots to do from here.
Just 2 more things to mention in terms of what's around. There is the famed Billy Bob's ice cream parlour and burger bar that's set up a few miles away, and that is definitely worth a visit if you fancy a bit of a treat. And there's also the local pub, which is probably about a 10-minute walk down into the village, the Devonshire Arms, which again we believe is quite a good pub.
So that's it. We've had a fab 48 hours away and we're back to the little cottage in the Yorkshire Dales because we've got some friends coming.
So that's it from us.
Bye.
Bye.